Good evening, friends. We're going to talk about one of the important topic of how to remain positive when in stress, and this is more relevant right now in current situation when there's a lot of negativity due to this pandemic. People are thinking about their future, what is going to happen to them in current future. Some people are already facing those difficulty and going through a lot of stress. So I have made couple of slides on which I am going to discuss some of the points where we can, think and uh, take some takeaways from this, video. So let's start. Stress, as you see in the, slide, is it's goes on increasing when we can't control. So it's very important to control this. We cannot eliminate it, but we need to be in control of this situation. So how to remain positive when stressed? Give your stress wings and let it fly away. That is one of the important thing when person should do when he is in or she is in stress. So what is stress? Stress is a feeling of emotion or a physical tension. It can come from any event or any condition or any situation that can make anyone feel frustrated. He or she might get angry, she might get nervous. So these are some of the symptoms of this stress. Stress is your body's reaction to a challenge. When there is a challenge which is posed at you, what kind of reaction a person can bring about is, that is the reaction of body. In short, stress can be positive. It how person takes it is very important. So it can be positive, it can be negative. Stress is a natural feeling of not being able to cope up with specific demands. When it on the negative side of the stress, this is the definition of stress. However, stress can become chronic if a person does not take any steps to manage it. So it's very important. The stress is there everywhere with every person, in any kind of career, any kind of job. But when it becomes chronic, when the person is not able to take control of it, it becomes chronic, and that is where it is dangerous. So let's look at how to remain positive when in stress. So there are lot of threats with human takes it or encounters it in his life, in his career, in our all part of his life or his her life, maybe it's a relationship or career or job or anything else. The body activates the resources that help people either to stay and confront it or and to get it out as fast as possible. The body produces large amount of chemicals, cortisols and other chemicals. So what happens when this stress comes in? There is an increase in the blood pressure, the muscles get heightened, sweatings, and people become alert. So these are some of the reaction which a person goes through. So increase of blood pressure level, he becomes more alert, he gets a lot of sweating. So these are some of the areas where stress comes in. So what happens then is, as I said, blood pressure goes up, the pulse rates goes up, your breathing speeds up. So you start breathing very fast. Your digestive system slows down, your immunity activities decreases. These are some of the actions which your body goes through. Muscles become more tense, and more importantly, sleep time decreases, and you are in heighter because you are always in this state of alertness. So your sleeping time goes down. So this is very important to note. These are some of the symptoms, right from blood pressure to breathing to digestive system to your sleep. These are what physical effects on your body because of stress. So everyone knows this. All I have talked so far, everyone knows this. Problem is people knowing it and people doing it. So there is always a gap between knowing and doing, which is very important, and that is why though people know about it, they don't do about it, and that's the major issue right now. Human population is facing. So whatever I thought about increase of blood pressure or alertness, everyone knows what happens in stress, but how to take action on it, that is where the difference is. So this is a huge gap between knowing and doing. This is what it says, and it is important to know, but it is important to act on what you know. So only knowledge will not be able to help you. We have to take use of that knowledge and start taking actions. So there are certain things which I want to bring it here. How we behave may not be aligned with how we live. So I may know something, but I don't understand. That is one case, one scenario. I understand, but I am not convinced. I know I can understand it, but from mind side I am not convinced. I am convinced, but I am not committed. So this is very important. And then this is an example of cigarette. Everyone knows smoking is injurious to health. Everyone knows, but when it comes to doing it, people still go and smoke. So this is a very classic example of knowing and doing gap, and this is the gap which everyone has to fill up if they want to take care of your stress. We have been always taught about what and how, but generally why is missing. So many, if you look at the children, when they ask questions, they always ask why. We try and ignore those why questions, and then they also get away, and they only know what and how. This is how the upbringing of our children comes, and this is where the problem starts. If you don't start questioning about why it is such or why it is so, you will not be able to get an answer of it. So it is very important when you are upbringing your children to answer those questions, because his mind get clear. So why is always for discovering the purpose. It is important to note this. Why is always for discovering the purpose. The secret of success is constancy of purpose. Very, very profound word. And this is what the book from Simon Sinek, Start with Why. He has given a golden circle, and at the center of it he has put it why. So you have to start everything with why, and this is a very good book to read about it. So what happens in stress? We always, there is a brain which comes into picture, and we always have two decisions to make, either to fight it or flight. That is either to go for kill or run away from this. So this is the response which comes out of brain. So there is a response comes out of brain, either there is a threat or reward, right? So either we fight or either we flight. So this is very important to know. So brain is very quick to respond in whatever condition, but when it thinks fast, it may not always be accurate. So it is not important that whatever action we always take immediately may be accurate or not. It can also have bias while making the decision, and bias can be because of your previous experiences. You might think this is the only way, and you go and take the decision. Thinking slow and then react will be most accurate. So it is always necessary to calm down, think over it, and then take decision, rather than taking decision and then start thinking over it. Stress is a survival mechanism. Lot of body function changes, as I said, heartbeats, blood pressure, everything changes. As long as it is in control, it doesn't go into the chronic condition, it is okay. Look at this a picture on the left hand side. When a person takes over you when you are driving, you always come to reaction. Now what is going to that reaction will decide what action you take. So you immediately say, he is taking over, then you also accelerate your accelerator and start chasing. So this is the reaction, which is very fraction of time you take it. It is important to calm down and take a decision. Even in case of fight or flight, you have to have little time before you go for it. So there are a lot of things which we already talked about. The heartbeat faster, the muscle tenses, of all these things we have seen, and there are some medical language associated with it. I am not great into that, but this is what happens in stress. So look at this very, very important things. Brain has three elements. Yeah, one is action oriented brain, that is this brain. Second is brain with a lot of emotion. And third is the thinking brain, which will always think and give you decision. What happens in stress condition? This is called this neocortex brain as well as limbic brain. In stress condition, there is always a cutoff. So this line comes up, and this brain doesn't talk to this. So this is where the stress position comes, and your emotional brains take over, and you start taking action based on your emotion. So this is where the stress point comes in your brain. So when we are in higher cortex, that means we are in thinking brain, you are low on emotion, you are calm and relaxed. But when your this higher cortex are disabled, so if you look at this cortex is disabled, if there is the boundary line is cut off, this is where you get angry, you get sense of fear and other things. So this is very important to note about how emotional hijack happens. When your thinking brain stops and your emotional brain take over, the emotional hijack happens. So what do we do? Very, very important is to oxygenate first. Breathe in, get a lot of oxygen inside your body and mind. That will help you to get oxygen into your neocortex mind, and you will start becoming a little calm and cool. Go for a walk, right? How to avoid? One is oxygenate, deep breathing. Second would be go for walk. Keep always the thinking brain alive, the neocortex brain alive, and always be mindful and reflect. Go to a calm place, start reflecting before you get into this hijack mode. So reflection is very, very important, and it is another way how to avoid emotional cracks. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is when your body and mind is in one direction or is one line. This is where we are called mindfulness. We are always, our mind and body is always fluctuating, between your family, your friends, your boss, health, finance, projects, career. So it has a lot of elements to work on. So mind is constantly working on this facet. So it is important to have, there is some power of mindfulness, which is rather than responding it, rather than reacting it, we have to have one stage in between, so that you, instead of reacting it, you respond in a proper way. So what happens without mindfulness? There is a stimulus, there is action, and you immediately react, because your emotional brain comes in picture and you react. With mindfulness, you always a gap between your stimulus and the response, and finally you don't react, you respond. So mindfulness is nothing but thinking and doing is, when you are thinking and doing is same, when your mind and body is on the same wavelength, that is called mindfulness. So it is very important to know. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. So this is what he is talking about. Between stimulus and the response, there is always a space, and that space has to be filled up by mindfulness. Now mindfulness, there are a lot of exercises how to control your mind. We are not going to do that, but you should be aware of what is mindfulness. So when our subconscious mind is already on autopilot net, what do? We get up in the morning, get to the washroom, start brushing. There is no thinking brain. It is on autopilot. You go for office, put your shoes on, and you just go and put in these laces, or you go on a drive. Whenever your thinking brain is not working, you drive, because you are on autopilot, right? So it actually reduces a lot of load from the brain. So this is known for many people. There is a conscious mind and unconscious or subconscious. 95% of our activities are done by subconscious mind, that is on autopilot, and only 5% of activities are done by the conscious mind, which is very important. So consciously we are not doing what we in the regular day. We are only doing consciously 5% of our activity or decisions, the balanced decision or autopilot. It's on autopilot, so that is subconscious. There are many stress to relaxation response. So one could be ability to heal and regenerate body. it can prevent or compensate for damage which is already because of the frequent nervous systems or reactions comes in. Breathing, yoga, meditation, walking, we have spoken about it. Yeah. So look at what happens in our brain. So there are frequencies which goes into brain. When we are into stress issue, we are into this gamma, where it is the frequency between 30 to anything beyond 100 hertz. So we are always into that flight or fight or alert mode. Beta is normal working status, where we are concentrating and working on your job or wherever you are. Alpha is more relaxed, 8 to 12 hertz. Basically we are in calm, cool meditation stage. Theta is 4 to 7 hertz, light sleep, you are still dreaming and sleeping. But more importantly is delta, where we are in deep sleep without dreams, dreamless state. So these are some of the frequencies which your brain goes, and which frequency we should be normally in will decide whether you are going into a chronic condition frequently in terms of stress or not. If you are in chronic condition, you will always be into this frequency, and that is dangerous for your both mind as well as body. So look at stress response versus relaxation response. When there is a threat, heart rate goes up, you start breathing faster, you get sweating, you get bad feeling. But when you are in relaxation response, that is with the stimulus and the response, there is a mindfulness, your mind is relaxed, whichever is the condition you are in, whatever may be the condition, your heart rate is normal, you go on deep and slow breathing, your body is cool, and you are in good feeling. So these are two different things about how to react to a situation or a stress situation. Yeah, so this is like a same storm but different boats. How you take actions or reactions in a same storm, two different boats are taking different actions. One boat might not come out, the other boat still survives. So there are there are a lot of biases which can come in. There is something called confirmation bias, which is basically what you see, confirm, and then take a decision. There are some negative bias which comes on, get bombarded on your mind. Negative, this thing is like something called Velcro versus Teflon. While negative bias is good for in survival or in health condition, it is lousy for quality of life. Your relationship, it is going to be difficult in this. So negativity is like Velcro, it always sticks. Positivity is always like the Teflon, it never sticks. It is important to get from Velcro to Teflon, and that is where we have to work on. There is a good book called Power of Positive Thinking, but look at this. I was going to buy a copy of the Power of Positive Thinking, then I thought, what the hell good would that do for me? If that kind of thinking comes in, what the hell it is going to do for me, then there is a problem. So that is called a negativity, and that remains with a person who is always into that state of anger, right? Yeah. One of the best lessons you can learn in life is to master how to remain calm, and it is very important to know this, that you are remaining in calm, remaining in the stage of cool and calm will solve your maximum problem in any condition of time, rather than you going and taking controlling the situation. The situation should not start controlling you, and this is where you will be in problem. So I think I have given little bit of inputs on how to handle stress. I will come up with more videos like this soon. Thank you very much for listening.